Welcome back, digital class, and now we're looking at the topic of factors. Okay, factors. So, if you look at C, it's factors and multiples, but we'll first discuss about factors. Now, this will be something that's kind of important especially when you go to secondary school, but still kind of something that you should know at this level. Now, factor. What is factor? So, factor is actually a number that can divide another number exactly without leaving any leftover. So this might sound a bit kind of questioning, but you just understand this factor as the numbers that build another number. Okay, you can understand as the numbers that build up another number. So for example, okay, 1 times what equal to 12? You know, is 12, right? So 1 times 12 gives you 12. Oops. Now 2 times what gives you 12? 2 times 6 gives you 12. 3 times what gives you 12? 3 times 4 gives you 12. And you know that 1, 2, 3, can I continue move on to 4? Then it will repeating this, right? 4 times 3, 6 times 2. So the factors of 12 basically is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. These are the numbers that can multiply with each other, then become 12. How about other numbers like 5? 5 cannot multiply anything to give you 12, right? Or else you'll be a decimal. So this is not okay. What we want is like an exact number, a whole number. Again, 12 can be built up by 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12. How about 16? Now 16 can be like 1 times 16. I can like 2 times 8. Can 3 multiply something give you 16? No. Then it's not a factor. How about 4? 4 can, right? 4 times what? 4 times 8? 4 times 4. So you can see 1, 2, 4, 4, 8, 16. So I know it's what? 1, 2, 4, 8, 16. So these are the factors of 16. Now, once you know about what is factor is a number that build up that number. Okay? And now you need to understand that sometimes you might be asked about what is the common factors. What does it mean by common? Common means what? Common means the same. What is the same factors of 12 and 16? Now, if you look at here, we already list out here, right? 12 and 16, these are the factors. So 1, 1, 1, okay, 2, 2, 2, 3, no. 4, yes. 6, 8, 12, 16, no. So the common factors between of 12 and 16 is 1, 2, 4. So these are the common factors. But if you look further, there's something called the highest common factor, or in short we call it as HCF. What is this HCF actually means? Highest means what? The bigger number, the biggest number, the greatest number. So 1, 2, 4, which one is the greatest? Because it's between 12 and 16, right? So 1, 2, 4, which one is the greatest? 4. So the HCF of 12 and 16 is 4. Okay? And perhaps I need you to put a star here. HCF is something that is actually very important in secondary school to learn. Okay? For some of you that maybe come from different country, you might use different word of HCF. Some of you might use the word greatest common divisor or divisor, GCD, if I'm not mistaken. So GCF, some of you might use. So, but it's the same thing here. Okay, with HCF. But in Singapore, we use highest common factor, HCF. Okay, so okay, something to take note. HCF is something that you need to make sure you know how to do it. Okay. Now, apart from learning what is factor, I also want to share a few tips. Now, these tips are something that may not be very important, but it can be something very important in solving some tricky question. Okay, now let's look at this one first. First one, tip 1. The smallest factor of any number is always what? 1. Let's try to list down the factors of 14. 1 times what? Times 14. 2 times what? Times 7. Any more number in between? 3? No. 4? 5? 6? No. So only 4. 1, 2, 7, 14. How about factors of 24? 1 times 24. Okay. 2 times what? 2 times 12. 3 times what? 3 times 8. 4 times what? 4 times 6. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 14. Now you can see what? No matter how many numbers is their factors, right? Can be many factors, can be just 4 factors, but the smallest factors is always what? 1. So as you can see, right, here also what? Here also 1. Here also 1. Here is 1. Here is also 1. Always 1. And as tip number 2, the largest factor of any number is always the number itself. Huh? Sure? Let's try and see. 1 times what? 1 times 25. 2? No. 3? 4? How about 5? Yes, because 5 times 5 is 25. How about 36? 1 times 36. 2 times 18. 3 times 12. 4 times, oh, it's not enough space. 9. And how about 6? 6 times 6, right? So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 9, 12, 18, 36. And the biggest number is always what? Itself. And perhaps you can see this in all. Yes, you can see, right? 25, 25, 36, 36, 24, 24, 14, here always 14. 12, here it's also 12, 16, here is also 16. Okay, now that is basically tip number 1 and tip number 2. Now, tip number 3 is something that is a bit hard to understand. But if you can understand, it's fine. But if you can understand, that will help you a bit in some tricky question. Let me just use a green color for this. Now, okay, here, a bit tricky, so I need you to pay attention. Now, here say what? Most number has an even number of factors. Now, my main point here is the number of factors is even. For example, right, the factors of 12 is what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, right? But how many do I have? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, I have 6 number of factors. And this 6, I know even number, right? Even means what? Even means 2, 4, 6, 8, 12, all these things, right? So you can see it's 6, it's even. Why is it even? Because you need to multiply with different number to get this number, right? That's why it's an even number. For example, you can see 14. 14 is what? 1, 2, 7, 14. So I have how many number? I have 4. So it's always even. How about 24? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I have 8. Again, it's still even. But there's a problem here. Here says what? Here says that only perfect square has an odd number of factor. Odd means what? Odd means only 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But why? What is perfect square? Perfect square is something like this. 1 times 1, 1. 2 times 2, 4. 3 times 3, 9. 4 times 4, 16. Then so on, and 5 times 5, 25. And so on, 6 times 6, 36. Yeah. All this number, we call it as perfect square. But teacher, why this perfect square have an odd number of factors? Let's look at an example here. You see, 16. 16 have how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only 5 is odd number. How about 25? You get 25 is also a perfect square, right? 1, 2, 3. Only 3. How about 36? Also perfect square, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Only 9, also odd number. Why? This is because, again, I believe you have figured out now. This is because, can you see here? There is one number that is actually multiplying itself. It means 4. 4 at the end times will be a different number. But this 4 times 4. And because it's the same number, right? That's why I only write here once. Example 5 is what? 5 times 5. 6 is what? 6 times 6. I'm multiplying itself. That's why I'm having an odd number instead. Okay, so I hope that by now you should be able to understand what I'm trying to actually explain here. And teacher, is this so important? Why is it so important? Now, it might not be so important at this stage that you see, most of the question don't ask something like this. But this kind of appear in some tricky question, maybe in a pattern. Some of these questions, this knowledge can help you solve or help you skip many of the steps. Okay, so I'll just say up to here. When you see a question that is this information useful, you definitely understand why am I saying this. Okay, and that is for factors. Again, it's a topic that you learn in P4, but it will be eventually more and more important when you go up to secondary school. Okay, and that's all that I want to share, and thank you. See you. Bye bye.